Welcome to the Gag Is Podcast with me, your host, Charlie Shantae, where I share the roller coaster of my life, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. After becoming a teen mom at 14 and a widow by the age of 21, it's a journey filled with tears and laughter, reminding you that even in the toughest moments, there's hope. The gag is, life may be unpredictable, but it's always worth living.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Gag Is Pod. I am your girl Charlie Shantae. Thank you for joining me on another. I'm not taking that blooper out. We're just gonna run it back. Welcome back to the Gag Is Pod. I am your girl Charlie Shantae. Thank you for joining me on another episode. Oh my God, today is like a super duper extraterrestrial special episode. One, not only is it the New Year's Eve episode, but it is also the 50th episode. Yay! So let's go ahead and clap it up for that. And hopefully you're not new here and you've been here and this is your 50th episode too. Let's clap it up for that. If not, you can always go back and from day one and listen to those episodes. I will tell you though, going back and listening to those episodes is going to be very, very cringe. When I go back and listen to those episodes, it is very, very cringe. Do you hear me? I'll be like, so badly I'll be wanting to take those episodes down, but I understand that those episodes are needed because it shows where I started and then it shows where I am now. But before we go ahead and jump into it, go ahead and grab your snack, grab your drink so we can get into it. New Year's Eve is in a few days. Man, like how did we get here? Like 2025 is just in a few days and I don't even know how we got here. Like I was talking to Marco Polo last night and I was like, hey, did this happen in 2024 or was that another year? And he's like, no, mom, like that happened this year. I'm just like, oh my God, like it has been the longest year, the longest, fastest year ever. So much has happened this year, but it's kind of like that was this year. Like, yeah, like the Titanic's, the submarine thingy thing, like that was this year, I believe in like June. So just like 6 months ago, OJ died. Been a lot going on this year, but I felt that since it's the New Year's episode and, in the 50th episode, we got to have a little fun on this episode. We cannot end the year with a super serious topic. We got to have some fun up in this thing. So I got my little list right here. I actually got my little stand today, so I got my little list and I got to hold it in my hand for y'all today. I got my list. So we going to go through the list of some of the like things that happened this year, that I personally know about. I collaborated with Nick and I was like, girl, what's some of the funny stuff that like happened this year that I can like put into an episode to kind of recap? And she started talking and she's talking about all this stuff. And I was like, girl, I'm like, that happened this year? She's like, yes, that happened this year. Can we get into this fit though? What's it giving? If you ain't watching this and you listening, you have to go on over to YouTube and check it out because your girl got it on today. Okay, we bring it in the new year looking very festive. I got my New Year's hat and stuff I can't put on my head because then I would have to widen the frame out and we're not finna do that. So y'all gonna enjoy this, this well put together, this chain is blingy blingy. Mom iced out my neck for my birthday a few weeks ago. So, the chain, the chain is, y'all gonna have to go check it out on YouTube, but let's go ahead and jump into it. So, like I said, this is the 50th episode and we just want it to be just funny, just chill, something that you can ride, work out to, and just kind of, just laugh and kind of have fun. This episode, I don't want to put you in that mind state of like, oh, it's New Year's and, she trying to be serious today. Nope. This is here for laughs and entertainment. I wish I had Nick here with me while I'm recording this because the episode, she would have been behind the scenes and the episode would have been that much more funnier. But I think I'm going to start putting her on some episodes like behind the scenes so that I can have somebody to interact with and talk with. And then I'm telling y'all, it is going to be that much funnier. But this episode's still going to be funny nonetheless. But if she was in the background to provide a little commentary, it would be funny as well. So if I break into a laughing spell, no judgment. We listen, we don't judge. All right. So going into 2025, I always say whatever happened in 2020, the year prior, let bygones be bygones. But one of the things this year that was the number one thing that Nick said to happen this year was the child parent expectations. Now, if you don't know what I mean by that, you're going to have to go back a couple episodes because if you know my child, New Face, the boy is big. He's a swimmer. He consumes a lot of food and he has a few different food allergies. And so I prep his food for him. I prep his food for him for school and stuff like that. And then we eat at home. We're not plant-based, Mediterranean or anything like that. No crazy type of diet. Just the type of stuff that he requires. Now me, I keep it simple. I can take chicken and make like 5 different meals and be good. I can do chicken, rice, a veggie on the side, just something easy, something quick, something simple. My boy was like, can I get some sushi rolls? Can you make me some sushi rolls? Can I get some pot rolls with some potatoes? But I don't like mashed potatoes. So can you just do like a baked potato? Mind you, this is food for him to take to school, not for at the house. Pot roast, with some veggies, carrots and, different stuff like that. And then I work and he's like, yeah, I don't like it when you make crock pot chicken because my quick fix is clean some chicken breasts, season them up, throw them in the crock pot. That way it's easy for me because I feel like I can take the crock pot chicken and I can make endless amount of meals. I can make fried rice. I can make anything, right? It's not good enough for him. He's like, don't put my chicken in the crock pot. He's like, you can either grill it or, bake it in the oven. And I was like, well, what's the difference between baking it in the oven and putting it in the crock pot? It's like pretty much the same. He's like, no, he's like, it's good, but I like it in the oven or either when you pan sear it, you dice it up and you pan sear it. Who got that kind of time? Like, cause you want your meat pan seared and then, you like some panko crumbs cause you want it a little fried and you want a little crispy outside and stuff like that. You want your little cauliflower sauteed and stuff, drizzled with soy sauce and just a little smite smidge of salt and pepper. Sir, you are going to school. You not going to anybody's job. So why am I in here making you a Michelin meal to take to school? Like it shouldn't even be like that. Like a Michelin meal to school. One day, I was working from home that day and I was like, he's like, oh, I don't have nothing to take to lunch. And I was like, yeah, my bad. I didn't order no groceries. So I said, I'm going to bring you some lunch. And he was like, all right, cool. So he texted, he's like, what you going to bring me? And I was like, I don't know yet. So I'm like, what can I do? I had some ground turkey. So I was like, I'm going to make him some sliders. So I made him 3 sliders, wrapped them up in foil and took them up to the school. I'm checking in and I was like, all right. So he come around the corner. He got this little girl with him. I'm like, hey, how you doing? So I get home. He's like, yeah, my friend want to know when you going to cook and bring some more food to the school because she liked the burgers. Wait a minute. So I'm up here trying to feed you and you over here feeding the people. You over here feeding the young ladies? That's so needless to say, that's the last time I cooked and brought it to the school for him fresh. You got to find something in here because am I in here making plates for you to sell at school? Cause he's like, yeah, we should have this, or, we should do pork chops, with like green beans, and, we can do some fries on the side. Are you eating lunch or are you selling plates? Cause I'm confused. Cause if you up there selling plates, I need my cut. Cause you know what I'm saying? I'm picking up the front end and the back end. I need my cut if you at that school selling plates, my good sir. So we've come to a happy medium about what kind of food he gonna take, expectations and different stuff like that. But in this new year, he's, like I said, he's a swimmer, and so his dietary needs are a little bit more. So he will continue. See, I sound soft because I'm talking about he gonna continue to get these type of meals. He's going to continue to get these type of meals because he burns that many calories. My boy put down a 30-piece grilled nugget from Chick-fil-A. Okay. It was still hungry because swimming takes so much. So he will still get those meals during the day because he, I kind of let him have free range in the morning, but for his for his lunch and for his dinner, I try to keep him with something healthy. That way he'll have energy and strength for swim and what have you. But I just be wanting him to know that, this ain't the expectation. I do it, out the kindness of my heart. But, I could wake up tomorrow and be like, it's just going to be sandwiches and chips for the rest of the year. Not that he would mind, but, I want my baby to have a variety, and I have leftovers and I take them to work too. So, I don't eat as much as him. Let's set that out there. But, I keep it healthy. Every time I record, I have to give y'all a yawn. I don't even be tired. It's just a yawn. I don't even have nothing to drink. Where's my drink at? I don't even have my water. So, we're going to have to get through the dry mouth and all. All right. So, customer service. I feel like my biggest pet peeve this year has been customer service. Like, all right, granted, wherever you work, you don't feel like you're making enough money. I don't think nobody feel like they make enough money wherever they work. Let's just be honest. But if you in a customer service role, I feel like you should have a little bit more patience. Like you got to kind of actually like people, right? I'm tired of going to these places and getting bad customer service, and then especially like a sit down restaurant, and then you think that you done gave me this piss poor service and you think that I'm still supposed to like tip you and tip you generously for the piss poor job that you did. And that's not key. Somebody said something to me one time. They said, how are servers ever supposed to learn that that's not how you treat a customer even if they provide you bad service, you're still going to give them 20% or more? What incentive do they have to do better if we're still rewarding them for bad customer service? And I was like, man, that makes sense. So there have been times where the service has been bad and it's not from because of the kitchen. Because I know some of y'all gonna be like, well, if it was the food, it was the kitchen, whatever. No. If you are a server, I need you to be attentive to my needs. You know what I'm saying? Like, not every 30 seconds come over here, you need something, but be attentive to my needs. I shouldn't have to have one of your coworkers go find you because I ain't seen you in that long. Okay? Because then you more than likely not finna get no tip. If it's been 30, 40 minutes and I ain't seen you, you haven't walked by my table or anything, and I have to send somebody to come find you, or I have to ask to speak to the manager, that's not cool. Granted, you're working a job, because you're in school or you're just trying to make ends meet, whatever. I'm nice to everyone. I don't judge. Lord have mercy. I don't judge because when I was in grad school, I used to work at Dave & Buster's just for some extra money. Like I was working 2 jobs and I was going to grad school because I was just trying to have that extra money, pay for school and whatever. So I don't judge people for working any type of customer service job or job where they rely on tips or anything like that. All I'm asking is that when you have these type of jobs, just be polite. That's it. If you're having a bad day, don't bring that bad day to work, because that could be the difference between whether you get a $25 tip or whether you get a $3 tip. So your attitude is, your pockets is determined upon your attitude, like how you do when you have customers and stuff like that. I make sure I try to engage with them and have a conversation, because sometimes people just need somebody to talk to them and engage with them. And I try to do that. But if I'm doing that and I'm being nice to you and then you still acting crappy toward me, yeah, your tip's gonna suffer, because I didn't ask to inherit your bad day problems. I didn't ask to inherit that. So you finna treat me with some respect. Yeah, whether you like it or not, whether you having a bad day. Hell, we all have bad days, but I don't take my bad days out on nobody. So all I'm asking in 2025 is, if you work in customer service, can you please have some patience? Can you please be nice? Please. And thank you. That's all I'm asking. Not asking for a lot. That's all I'm asking for. Please and thank you. Okay, so this next one is a issue, but it's also a, you can't make this up. And Nick reminded me of this one because I be trying to use my brain space, I can't go and buy like extra space and stuff like that. So I be trying to save my little brain memory space for like important stuff. And so I had completely forgot all about this situation, right? So I'm a very nice, very caring person, especially when it comes to kids. And this child was coming to my house, to play with my son and stuff. And the child was telling me that they weren't in school, and, that different things were going on at home. And, I'm always a giver, and, especially to other single Black moms, I try to be a problem solver and help with solutions. So one day the child came over and was like, my mom, is looking for us a ride to Walmart because we just have some stuff going on. And I was like, okay, well, I was like, where do you live? And the child was like, I live around the corner. I was like, okay. So I went to the child's house, and, I met the mom, and the mom was like, these is my kids, whatever, whatever, whatever. So I see a child. Now, I didn't know this was a child. I thought this was her boyfriend. And I was like, dang, like, she got a whole man here. And what's going on with this microphone today? She got a whole man here, and he ain't doing nothing. And she's like, my lights is cut off, and whoop de whoop de whoop de whoop. And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm willing to help because your kids ain't in school and your lights is cut off. And times get hard. Like, I ain't always had it. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, we was a little poor. So in my mind, I had a figure. I was like, if she say her light bill is less than X amount of dollars, I'm going to chip in. I'm going to be like, let's go up here to the bill pay place, put some on your light bill. So I was like, okay. And she's like, I don't know when I'm going to get my lights turned back on, whatever, whatever. So I'm like, well, how much is your light bill? She's like, oh, it's $1,800. $1,800? Is you powering up the neighborhood? She's like, yeah, I ain't paid my lights since I moved in. What? So now I got to dig deeper, because I got to understand what's going on, because I might have to call social services on you, because you got 5 kids over here in this house and you ain't got no electricity, which means you can't store and hold food and different stuff like that. So she told me the story about how she ended up there. She don't have no car and whatever, whatever. And I was like, well, why the kids don't go to school? And she's like, oh, because I don't have no car. I said, well, the bus come right here. I was like, my child rides the bus. The bus is stopping just right here. And she's like, oh, okay. She's like, well, I just homeschool them. And I'm thinking to myself, well, how do you homeschool your kids and you ain't got no electricity? But okay, I digress. I don't even know how long these people electricity had been out, but I was intrigued by this story. So I'm like, okay, cool. I okay. Me and this microphone we're finna have a fight, okay? Because I don't know why it keep falling down. This is you know what? This is too much. All right, we're gonna try that right there. Yeah, I don't take out bloopers. Y'all know I don't take out bloopers, so whatever. But anyway, I'm intrigued because I'm like, I need to know what's going on. I need to understand this. Like, how did we get here? So she tells me her story, and I'm like, oh dang. I'm like, that's bad. Sorry to hear that. Here's some numbers for some resources. Da 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 da. And she's like, I just started a new job, and blah 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 blah. And this story was wild, y'all. She was like, I got 5 kids and, you know, 4 of their daddy is dead. And I was like, damn, this is crazy. And I was like, well, do you get like benefits for them? And she's like, nah, I don't get benefits for them because, I don't got no electricity. I don't got no internet. So I ain't been able to apply. And, that's one of the things. Am I going to have to hold this microphone? That's one of the things that, I've been trying to work on. And I'm like, it's a lot going on here. So I was like, all right, cool. So I'm like, what can I do? Okay, to help you out. And she's like, well, you could take me to Walmart and cause I can get some batteries, I can get some flashlights, I can get some lanterns. And I was like, okay, cool. So literally Walmart is like 5 minutes from our house. So I get there and I needed to pick up a couple items myself. So I pick up my items. I go to the self-checkout. I check out. So I noticed that she has this basket full of stuff and is standing over to the side. And so I go and I said, what you waiting on? And she's like, oh, I just need this stuff to, to pay for this stuff. And I said, okay. I said, you think you should get in line? So pretty much she thought that because I was helping her and I bought her to Walmart, she thought I was finna pay for all their stuff. I said, no, ma'am. I said, you ain't got no cash? She's like, mm-mm. She's like, you ain't got no debit card? Mm-mm. She's like, all I got is Cash App. So I said, okay. We got up to the register. They rung the stuff up. And she said, well, can I, and y'all know Walmart don't have tap to pay. She's like, well, can I just Cash App you the money? You pay for it and I Cash App me money? I said, sure. I said, Cash App me the money right now. And once I see it go in my account or go to my Cash App card, I'll pay it. So we stood there looking at each other because it was probably about $170 worth of flashlights and lanterns and stuff like that, and batteries and stuff like that. She sent that money, and as soon as she sent that money, I blocked her on Cash App because I'm like, why don't you have a bank account? So you saying that any of the money and stuff that you get, like it go to Cash App, like you don't have no real bank account, like this is crazy. So I dropped her back off and I was just like, look, if you need to come over to use the internet or something tomorrow, just come on by so that you can, kind of get yourself together. So next day, she sent a kid over here with a backpack full of electronics, y'all. So not that she was trying to come around there and utilize the internet and the stuff like that to, apply for a job or anything like that. She just sent over this child with the biggest power bank that I done ever seen to charge up their iPads, their laptops, their phones, and all of this. And I'm just like, that stuff is not of the priority, because if you at home and you got this computer, what you using Wi-Fi to watch movies and stuff like that? Like, everybody got a phone and an iPad. And so then she was like, I'm on Section 8 and da 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 da. And so from what I know, because I called, because I had friends, I called and they were like, that's not correct. They was like, that sounds like a fishy situation. Da, 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 da. Long story short, I had to stop them from coming over here because you're not just finna come over here and use up my utilities and stuff, and you not trying to use my utilities to help better yourself. So, like I let her son come play with my son one day, and the kid was like, oh, y'all have a nice house and, snacks and stuff like that, and just start coming over every day for snacks. And I was like, no. I was like, we're going to nip this in the butt because your mom over around there getting food stamps and all kind of stuff. We finna nip this in the butt. So I thought situation was resolved. So I get a text, hey, can I pay you to take my daughter to dance? Okay, so we have another expense that we can't afford right now. And the dance is like 40 minutes away to the place, like 40 minutes away. And I was like, well, how your baby been getting to preschool and dance way over there? And she's like, oh, we Uber every day. Okay, so you have Uber money. Okay. Uber is not cheap. So at this point, I'm just like, okay. I'm like, here's the resources. If you need help, just ask me. So I don't know what came to that. I've seen her a few times and I see she have a vehicle now. But when I was walking my dog the other day, I seen the trash can out there and the trash can was overflowing and everything. And it looked like they had moved out. I don't know. But long story short, I don't mind helping people, but you got to want to help yourself. And in the same instance that you're helping yourself, don't try to use people. Okay? Don't try to use people because people are really nice. They're caring and they'll help you get to where you need to be. But if you're dishonest and you try to use people, that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how do you know it's somebody else? I could encounter somebody else later down the road, like in a couple days or whatever, that really needed the help. But here I am wasting my resources because you want to allocate your money other places and play with people's time and think that you're just entitled and people are supposed to do for you. So you could have been blocking somebody else's blessing without even knowing it. I had another situation where a young lady did the same thing. My pet peeve is I hate to see people begging with their kids. I hate to see people out on the corners with their kids, got the kids holding up signs like, don't do that. There's way more resources out there than you think. And I'm always like, because I'm a temporary solution. You need a long-term solution. Met a chick outside Neiman Marcus with her baby. Had the baby out here. Y'all, it had to be about 100 degrees. I take them inside to get some food because she was like, her baby hungry. Baby probably about 3. And I was like, you can get him whatever he want. I'm thinking we're going to Chick-fil-A. We went to a Chinese food place. Why is the baby eating Chinese food? Oh, so now I realize that this is for you. And then she's like, but I'm a nurse though. And then once I let her know that I was in the medical field, y'all, she shooed me away. She's like, oh, thank you for the food. We good. Cause you wanted some food. Now, if you wanted some food, that's okay. And like, y'all hit me with oh, I ain't got nowhere to live. I ain't got nowhere to stay. But y'all got these purses and these shoes and all this kind of stuff. But y'all ain't even having. In 2025, I need everybody to get their priorities together. The most basicest priorities. Stop letting social media dictate what it is your life is supposed to look like. Because y'all out here trying to be social media stars and y'all can't even be a star like in your own right and in your own sense because you trying to be lavish because you way over here at the upscale mall begging. Like, how did you get here? Like, how did you get over here to even do this? And you knew what you was doing because you came to the more upscale mall where it was going to be people there. And you sitting outside of Neiman Marcus, so the type of crowd that's going to fall through there. Like, what you doing. Like 2025, stop begging. Like, get out there and get it for yourself. Stop begging and then get mad when somebody don't do it for you. Stop begging. Go out there and get it for yourself. Everybody can. It might take you a little longer if you don't feel like you have enough resources, but get it on your own. I guarantee you, you'll feel much better about yourself getting something on your own than you is begging or getting it from somebody else, unless somebody is just voluntarily willing to give it to you. This audio finna be real crazy on this episode. I know I'm gonna have to do a lot of adjustments because this might keep falling, and I'm not sure. I ain't sure why. So let's see here. One of the better parts of this year was when I went on a family cruise, right? So unfortunately, my mom was having some health issues, so she couldn't go. So my bestie, hey bestie, went on the cruise with me. Now, when I tell you a time was had, like it was the pick me up that I needed. And I think God was like, you know what, like, sis, you've been having a rough year, let me go ahead and let you unwind. Let me help you unwind a little bit. And let you go on this little cruise because, you've been through it. You've been through it. And, I need you to relax because you got another storm coming, both literally and figuratively. Figuratively, you gonna need all your strength, sis. And I didn't know that 2 months after having the time of my life, I was gonna be having the worst time of my life. Like that cruise, like the day we was getting off, y'all, we was seeing somebody was getting arrested. I don't know what they did, but they were getting arrested, and we were trying to be nosy, and we probably almost got arrested. But that's neither here nor there. Just 2 months later, the state of Florida got hit by Hurricane Helene and then Hurricane Milton back to back. Hurricane Helene, we were unscathed, and I was like, okay, cool, we good to go. And then Hurricane Milton came, and it was projected to make landfall in Tampa Bay area. And just a little background about hurricanes. So hurricanes spin counterclockwise, right? And when you hear them say that, oh, there's 100 and whatever mile an hour winds, that's not the entire thing. That's just 50 to 60 miles from the center of the storm where like the eye is. So with that projected to make landfall in Tampa Bay, Tampa was going to be in the eye of the hurricane. At the last minute, the hurricane hooks a right close to my house, which I stay off the bay, hooks to the right. And so we're getting all of those winds, 100 mile an hour winds with like 80, 90 mile an hour wind gusts. So I was like, wow, okay. So like storm just getting cranking. And you see what happened. The storm was just getting cranking, and the power goes out, and I was like, oh, and then it comes right back on. I was like, okay, we're gonna be good. It's just a quick flash. And so then about an hour later, the power ends up going out altogether, and I was like, all right, cool. So I'm trying to make sure everybody's straight. So at this point, I'm like, we just gonna have to lay down and ride the storm out. Go to the front. Now, mind you, there are shutters up. So go to the front because like there's a palm tree right there, and it's just banging and hitting on the shutter. And I'm like, wow. And then I look because I hear something dripping, and I look in the window, and there is water dripping down from the window. And then I look on the floor, and the floor is covered in water. And I'm just like, oh my God. So I immediately went into fight or flight. And I was like, boys, go get towels. Like, I'm taking the curtains off the curtain rod, putting them down, try to soak up the water. And so then I see the water like out in the hallway area by the front door. Water is literally coming down the top of the door. It's bubbling from underneath the door because there's it's a corner where the front door is. And so this is happening because where my house is. So remember, a storm goes counterclockwise. So the front so my house faces north to south. So if your house faces like that, the front side, so the front faces the north. And then like the people across the street, theirs faces the south, like the back of their house faces north. So they're getting all of that rain or whatever. And so all of that's coming toward me. There's nothing behind my house. There's not a house next to me. So when that storm is just whipping, my house is just taking the brunt of it. And it was just crazy because there's nothing I could do to stop the water from coming down from the top of the door. So at the bottom of the door, there's all these towels and different stuff, just trying. And then at one point I was just like, I had the mop. I'm trying to get it up. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to be able to mop up all of this because it's just too much. And I was like, it's just going to have to wait until in the morning. So we come upstairs and we're about to relax or whatever, just listen to the rain and the wind and stuff like that. And LJ comes out of his room. He said, Mom. And I was like, what's up? He said, my roof is leaking. And I go in his room and there's just water coming down through the roof. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, literally watching my house fall, like get destroyed, like in real time. And I'm just like, man. And I remember going in my closet and laying on the floor and crying because I'm like, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm completely helpless at this point. There's nothing I can do about it. I just got to ride it out. So the next morning when it's all over and we're able to go outside, I go outside. My fence is gone. And the pool is blowed everywhere. It's blowed in the front yard. My tree is down. When my trees is down, it was all bad. And I just like lost the furniture that's in that front room. And, man, it was just all bad. So we start, like, a couple days go by, we still don't have no power. And I'm trying to clean out New Face's room. I'm like, hey, because, the water that came in from the ceiling. So I'm like, and it is all on his bed and stuff. So I'm like, hey, I'm like, this is your room is a loss, but like, I'm so sorry. I tell him to get the stuff from under the bed, and he goes and sits on the floor, and the floor is just drenched. And so there's about this much of a hole of like a lining, because I have a 2-story house, and the wind and rain were so hard that it got in between those gaps, in between those joints, and wet his whole floor up. And then I'm looking at his furniture, and you can see where, because he has the wood furniture, like some of it's like the compressed wood, like the stuff from IKEA. The floor is so saturated that the furniture has started absorbing the water. So he lost his breathing machine. He lost a lot of books. Like, he lost a lot of stuff. Like, he lost his entire room. And I just felt so bad for him because I'm like, man, like, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy work. And, it's just, it's just crazy. But insurance took a long time, and there's so many people that need help around here that it's hard to get contractors and stuff like that, especially if you're not paying the big bucks and stuff like that. They don't want to work with people who have like really small jobs and stuff like that. And then on top of that, they're price gouging too. They say they not, but you can tell, because like, if it cost me $2,000 to get just one section of fence like 2 months ago, but now it's $3,500, yeah, I see what you're doing there. It it was just all bad. And, they're like, we're not going to be able to come out and fix your roof until, January. And I'm just been praying like, Lord, I hope it don't rain, to make things worse. And then I got a call a couple days ago and they were like, we're going to be able to come do your roof tomorrow. And I was like, okay, like, cool. And God know what he doing, because they came and fixed the roof and now it's supposed to rain for the next 3 days. And I'm just like, man, like this is so good. This is all good. It's just been it's just been a lot since that day. We just been trying to build and take it one day, take it one step at a time. 2024 has definitely been a year that I learned. I feel like it's been one of the worst, not the worst, but one of the worst years that I've had in a long time. But it's also been one of the best years as well. I've had the opportunity to learn myself. And I found out that I'm stronger than what I give myself credit for. And I'm super proud of that. And I see the growth in myself. And I just want to continue to see the growth in myself. And as a creative, as an individual, as a mom, as a friend, I just want to continue to be that, continue to put my time and energy into positivity and things for the betterment of myself, others, and those around me. 2025, I'm excited. I think I gained a lot of tools this year. I gained a lot of support this year, and I'm just so ready to just move forward and just go into 2025 and leave all of the not so good in 2024, but take the lessons learned from those things and take them into 2025. Last but not least, I got your last song lyric of the week for 2024. And I picked this song because it has been the mantra. It has been the mantra of my life for this year. And it's an old song. I've seen it's been out for a while, but it's new to me. But it has been the mantra of my life. And I feel like it's going to be the soundtrack and the theme for 2025. So my last song lyric of the week for 2024 is Lil Wayne, Let It All Work Out. Because at the end of the day, it's all going to work out. You just got to hold on. You got to steadfast, got to pray. Everything is going to be good. If you have not already, please make sure that you are downloading this episode and make sure you're hitting that notification it's probably a plus sign depending on the app that you're using to listen to this. That way, anytime a new episode is released, you are one of the first ones to get that. Episodes released on Fridays at 5 a.m. So when you're on your way to work, when you're on your way home from work, or if you're going to the gym or whatever it is you're doing, you'll have that first thing Friday morning for something to get your day started. Also, make sure you follow us on Instagram at TheGagIsPod, and is the same handle on YouTube as well. You are more than welcome to follow my personal page at smartfit_Ogie. I want to say thank you all for rocking with me. This is episode number 50. I can't wait to give you guys 50 more and then some more episodes. If you haven't already, tell a friend, share it with a friend, do whatever your part. It's free 99 to share it and things like that. I wish you all a safe, happy, and healthy New Year's. And yeah, thank you for tuning in to the Gag Is Pod. I am your girl, Charlie Shante. Happy New Year's, guys. Bye.
Thank you for tuning into the Gag Is podcast. I hope you're enjoying my journey as much as I am enjoying sharing it with you. Before we wrap up, I have a small request. If you found inspiration in my stories or my guest stories, don't forget to share this podcast with your friends and family. Together, we can spread the message of resilience and hope. And if you have a moment, please take a second to rate and review the show on your podcast app. 5 stars, please. Your feedback helps me reach even more listeners who might need a dose of encouragement. Remember, the gag is, life may be unpredictable, but it's always worth living. So until next week, bye guys.